Hey YouTube, coming at you with another team for Ultra League. And this one is one I used before. So what happened was, League turned over yesterday or Wednesday. I don't know when I'm posting this. And I started 2-8 with another team. I tried Steelix again. You know what? I just can't get Steelix to work. I just find it's kind of limited in this meta. And then I tried another team, it didn't work. And I'm like, I need to go back to a team that worked in the past. And this team worked in the past. And I went 7-3 with it again. So the team is a balanced team. This is what I like about it. Swampert, Charizard, both Shadow, both hit super hard with Earthquake and Hydro Cannon and Blast Burn. And then you have your Giratina, which just absorbs everything. So basically how I just play this team and how it works overall is you spam the Hydro Cannons, you spam Blast Burn, you save shield for those two, you use Giratina as like a kind of like a third shield and just to absorb all the energy. And that's how you do it. So Pidgeot here, you know they're gonna, it's very, very, very unlikely that they just go Brave Bird right away. So they go Feather Dance, and I'm like, fine. I know that this is not going to be anywhere close, but you know what? I'm not getting out yet. I know I can do a ton of damage here. I've already got one shield. I won't be able to take them out. They'll be able to like Feather Dance me down and then Wing Attack me down, which is fine. I got one shield and then a lot of damage done. The only problem with this is they are going to have a ton of energy coming out. So my thought was, let's just come in here and just go straight Wing Attack. I'll have to shield in case I have to respect it at this point because they're so low they could just go. But they Feather Dance me again, which is too bad. That was pretty quick, so I assume this is just another Feather Dance. But it's okay. Loaded with energy. I'm going to have to reset because I'm 4 times lowered. They come in with a Charizard, which is okay. Because again, even though they're going to be throwing super effective Dragon Claws, again, I'm a tank. So it does not matter. I can just absorb that. They shield, if I remember, because there is the potential of running Ancient Power on Giratina. Ancient Power is great if you get it against like a Charizard or a Flyer, but like honestly, I just prefer Dragon Claw and Shadow Sneak. So I'll get a second Dragon Claw off here. Got one shield. And I'm probably going to get a third one. Or maybe they CMP me here. Now they come in Swampert. And this is where Giratina is just great. The problem is they're going to be able to mud shot me down. Oh, I was supposed to say, or they're going to throw here. Because they have to throw here, which is smart on their part. Because I've got a Blast Burn loaded. And you're thinking, Blast Burn's resisted. It is resisted. But they're Shadow. I'm a Shadow. Does like 60%, Wing Attack down, game over. Just, that's why I like running Charizard, because like Blast Burn, even in neutral match, like bad matchups, still does like 50%. It's such a hard hitting move. So I like it when you can just have like 2 Pokemon that can throw nukes here, and then 1 to absorb. So it's very easy to run team, balanced team. Stay in with Swampert. You have your Charizard, which you can deal with steals in the back and stuff. They make a great catch on Tentacruel here, so a nice catch there. Let's see if I farm a bit. I should have farmed a bit. I definitely should have farmed because Poison Jab is resisted, so I don't know why I didn't farm. Again, Poison is resisted on Giratina as well, but I definitely should have got a couple Mud Shots and farmed. Either way, Shadow Claw, Dragon Claw, very spammy moveset. They will get a move off here. And it's a spoiler alert, it's a Blizzard. I was like, oh, this is great. Everything's resisted. Blizzard is not resisted, but Blizzard does not even take me out and I still get it down, which is like just insane. Just insane. So again, I'm in farm down range, but that's okay. I get 2 more Dragon Claws off. This thing is so spammy. At this point, I'm like, I got 2 shields. I know they're loaded with energy. Sacrifice time. Sacrifice Swampert. Save the shields for Charizard. Charizard up a shield should be okay. I've got to use one here, obviously. I'm expecting either a catch or I don't know how much energy they have, so I think they may try and just like CMP me. So I'm just going to farm all the way down. Cobalion comes in. I'm going to be able to get to 2 Blast Burns here. They have to throw Stone Edge because double Sacred Sword is resisted. They lost track of my energy because I'm at 2 moves. A Blast Burn to a Steel is 1,000,000% going to one shot. Goodbye. And now farm down. So that's kind of how it works. Save shields, Charizard, Swampert. Just go hard. This one, I tried to catch the Grass Knot right away. I would play this differently. I would throw... You're going to outpace them to the Hydro Cannon. And a Hydro Cannon from a Shadow Swampert still does like 40% to Giratina. Like, it does a lot. Maybe not. Giratina's pretty tanky. But it does a lot. So I would have thrown the Hydro Cannon there and then tried to catch next. Because now I'm in a scenario where it's like, I'm going to lose Switch. They still have the Giratina. I do get that off there, which is good. Because now it's within Earthquake range, which I'm basically at. So I believe I grab a shield, which is actually too bad. Because now Giratina, again, we just saw Giratina, just its spamminess is tough. And I believe they land an Ancient Power on me and I don't shield and I'm in trouble here. Why I also like this team is that it's a balanced team, but like right? Your Swampert's weak to grass, Charizard covers that, Giratina also covers that. So you got like answers in the back to it. You have Swampert and Charizard, which will do well with the steals. You cover fighters with Charizard and Giratina, and Swampert does okay there. Like, it's just a very strong team. Where it kind of gets tricky is like, kind of like an ice type Pokemon, as in Walrein or Aurorus. Aurorus is a little easier because Swampert is easy, but overall those two are pretty tough for the backline to deal with, which is the only sort of drawback. I am going to be working with similar team. I think I'm keeping Charizard, changing Swampert, and then changing Giratina for Umbreon. And that's my intention to bring you that video next, if it works, which it should work because it's the same exact concept as this, but with a safe swap, a different safe swap and a different, I think instead of Swampert, I'm using like Tapu Fini, right? But same idea. Catch a Surf here, which is nice. So a tips and tricks here. A lot of you always in my videos go, I don't have this Pokemon. What can I do? What can I use instead? Right? So if you go to PV Poke, one thing that he added in, which was fantastic, is a team suggestion, right? So I put in Tapu. So if you go down, I'll just give you my example of Tapu Fini, because I'm like, I want to use Tapu Fini. So you go down to Tapu Fini, rank 20, and you go all the way down to the bottom, and it says suggested teammates. Registeel, which I don't have. Pidgeot, which I could use, but I want to use my Umbreon, and my Umbreon is going to be the boosted buddy, and I don't want Pidgeot, and both Pidgeot and Umbreon are about like 2400 CP, so you need to best buddy and boost them. So I'm boosting Umbreon, so I don't want to do that. And then third is Charizard, right? So that's why I'm probably just going to use Charizard again, because it just is a great teammate for it. Because again, Tapu, weak to grass. Charizard is going to deal with the grass. Yeah, they also say Mana, but it's and Cresselia. They say Cresselia, which I don't like that recommendation. So here's the thing. I'm using, there's drawbacks to each of these. They're recommending, this way you got to take it with a grain of salt and think about it through. I don't mind that I'm going to be double weak to electric. I know that. Tapu Fini and Charizard are both weak to electric. There's not a ton of electric in this. I did see a couple Ampharos and I saw one Galvantula coming up in a loss. Outside of that, there's not a lot of electric, so I'm not too worried about that. If you go with Cress and Tapu Fini, you just put yourself double weak to Trevenant, which I will have an answer in the middle in Umbreon to Trevenant. But again, it's tough to run a balanced team, because if Trevenant's on the lead, if I'm leading Cresselia, I guess you just kind of have to stay in, even though it's a terrible matchup. So that's why I don't love Cresselia as an option. The other option is Mandibuzz. I do not have my Hundo yet. You need a Hundo for that. I do not have that. Should I use Pidgeot instead? Pidgeot, Umbreon, no. The reason I'm using Charizard is because Umbreon and Tapu Fini are going to have problems with a Registeel in the back. So I need Charizard just to be able to Blast Burn that, which you're going to have problems with Registeel if you run Pidgeot. Or Mandibuzz or Cresselia, quite honestly. Like, how bad is the Tapu and 406? Yeah, so the Water Guns do add up on the Water Guns and Surfs do add up, and you live 1, they lock on down. That's annoying. But you get them to 32 HP. So the Tapu Fini is not terrible against that. Charizard. It's interesting that they're saying the Shadow Charizard is worse. And I'm wondering, is it because you now take 1-shots from a lot more things? Where are you? Registeel. It says you lose to Registeel here, even going straight Blast Burn. Because 1 Blast Burn doesn't take it out, but 1 thing does. And I'm wondering about the non-Shadow version. Because the non-Shadow is ranked much higher. And I'm wondering if it's because of... No, Registeel, you still lose. Okay. Okay, yeah, preference 23-21 versus... Because that's another question people... I'm looking at this because people always ask me, does Shadow versus non-Shadow matter? Interesting. Because okay. The Shadow Charizard being able to Blast Burn things, even that are resisted, makes it so strong in this meta. On PvPoke, regular Charizard is ranked 20 spots higher than Shadow Charizard. But if you go to the matchups, Shadow Charizard has a better overall wins 4 more, and a better battle average. So I'm wondering why that is the case, that Shadow is not ranked higher. Because Shadow clearly is the superior option here. Anyways, does it matter in the long run? I don't think so. Like, it does and it doesn't. So this is where it gets tricky. Does having a normal Swampert and a normal Charizard make this team unusable? No. Does it make it worse? In my opinion, yes. Because not that you don't need to respect a Blast Burn and Hydro Cannon from a non-Shadow, but the Shadow just puts on so much shield pressure. And in this team, what you're trying to do is one of these two, Swampert or Charizard, is putting on shield pressure, right? And then Giratina absorbs, and then you save shields and nuke with the last one, right? So if you're using the non-Shadow version, that strategy becomes a little trickier. So can you use non-Shadow? Yes. Does the team still work? Yes. Does it work as well? I don't think it does work as well. So that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, balanced team. And then I'm going to try out new teams, honestly. But if I can't get new teams to work, I may just try and go back to something like this. Because I really I think that this is it's honestly just quite easy. Like I'll switch the save swap up, I'll switch the balance up, but there's a bunch of different core that you can balance. I tried ABB at the start with Steelix and Scrafty in the back and Cress on the lead, and it didn't work. I went 1-4, and then I went Obstagoon, and I forget a couple others, and I went 1-4 again. I'm like, no, I just need some wins again. So 7-3 with this team back up. Sitting just below 2800 when I shot this, because going 2-8 kind of hurt. But that is it. I appreciate watching, appreciate the thumbs up and comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.